Good morning, all of you. Welcome you all again. So, we are talking about the chapter heat. Before this, we have just covered about the temperature and the different type of scales through which we measure temperature. Now, now we will talk about conduction and insulation. So, the question here, which you look at the screen, is: do all materials conduct heat? So let us take this example where we take a metal pan with a metal handle. If you have this kind of pan in your kitchen, you can try this by yourself also. So let's say that the pan is made up of a metal and the handle is also made up of metal. So this is one type of pan which you have taken and you put it on the gas. When you switch the gas on, what happens? The pan gets heated. After some time, after a couple of minutes, 1 or 2 minutes, try to touch the handle. What happens? The handles also become hot. That is the first thing that you observe. In the next example, what you do, you take a pan, but this time the handle is not made up of metal. Instead, it is made up of plastic. So you take a pan with a plastic handle. In fact, these days, most of the pans have plastic handles. Now you put this pan over the gas and then after some time you observe that pan gets heated, of course, but when you touch the handle, it is not heated. So why is a difference between the two? This difference is because some materials allow heat to get conducted while some other material do not allow heat to pass through them. So in this case, what happen is the fire is here. So the source of heat is here. Obviously the pan gets heated, but gradually it spreads to other part of the pan also. That's how it transferred to the handle also. And since it is all made up of metal and metal conducts heat, it allows heat to pass through it. Therefore, the handle also becomes heated. But in this case, what happen is the pan definitely get heated because it is made up of metal. But since this handle is made up of plastic and plastic does not conduct heat, it does not allow heat to pass through it. Therefore, the plastic handle does not get heated. So what do we observe from this? From this we observe that metal conducts heat, metal allow heat to pass through them, but plastic do not conduct heat. So with this we get to know that it is not necessary that all the materials conduct heat. So not all material conduct heat. So we can classify based on this into two types, conductors and insulators. So the names that define itself: conductor, something which conducts heat. So that is called conductor. So conductors and insulators are like poor conductor. They do not allow heat to pass through them easily. So conductors are material which conduct heat. For example, they are also called good conductors of heat because they are very good at it. Best examples are metals. When you talk about copper, aluminium, you talk about any metal, they are all good conductors of heat. Now when you talk about the insulator, they do not allow heat to pass through them easily. So the concept of conductor and insulator are very similar to what we have learned in conductor and insulator of electricity. Okay, so there are some material which allow electricity to pass through them. They are called good conductor. Similarly, which do not allow the electricity to pass through them, they are called poor conductor of electricity. So similarly, in the case of heat, example of insulator are plastics, wood, water, air. These are all example of poor conductors. Okay. That is why, because of this, wood or plastic containers are not used for cooking purposes. So you have a plastic container, you cannot put it over the gas, okay, because it gets heated, it melts, but it doesn't allow heat to pass through it. Okay. So if it is a metal conductor, it allows heat to pass through it and it will provide the heat to the vegetables or whatever it is in the inside the vessel. So these are conductors and insulators. Now when we talk about heat transfer, we are talking about heat being transferred from one object to another and heat being transferred from one part of an object to another. Now, how this heat transfer take place? Now, there are three ways or ways by which heat transfer happens. The first is conduction, the second is convection, and the third one is radiation. So, these are the only three ways by which heat get transferred from one object to another. So, let us learn each of these one by one. So, conduction is just one mode of heat transfer. There are two other modes as well, convection and radiation. Now, we will talk about each of them. Now, in this, I will give you an analogy to explain the three of them. Now, when I talk about conduction, it is something like this. You have a person A, you have another one, B. They want to transfer the ball from A to B. Now, how can this be done? So, this ball is nothing but a heat. Let's just try to understand this example. Now, A wants to transfer this ball to B. So, how can A do this? Now, there are three different ways by which A can transfer the ball to B. So, the first way of doing this is he asks a lot of his friends to stand in between. So they just fill the distance between A and B, and then they transfer ball. A transfer to the ball to the next boy, and it transfer to the next one, and that's how it reaches to the B finally. So A was here. A will pass on the ball to this guy. This guy pass on to this guy, and so on, and then finally it reach B. So this is the first way of transferring the ball from A to B. The next way is that a friend comes in, that means that this another boy, and if this boy carry the ball to B, and that's how the ball gets transferred to B. So in this, you really do not need so many boys to get the ball transfer. Just one boy is enough. Okay, so one boy is transferring the ball from A to B. So this boy actually moved, because this boy is actually had to move. But in the first scenario, nobody is moving, everybody is standing in their position. They just shifted the box to the next person. But in this case, this person actually had to move from this point to this point. And the third mode of doing this is, as nobody has help, he just throw the ball from A to B. So that is the third way of transferring it. Now, conduction, convection and radiation are exactly like this. So conduction is, this is just like first method, where you have to transfer the heat from one part to another part of the same by the same object, because you actually have so many particles which transfer the heat. And these people who are transferring, they are like the particles in the medium. So medium is what? For example, you take an example of a conduction. When you have a pan with a metal handle, so pan is made up of small particles, right? It is a solid. Solid is made up of particles. So particles inside the solid are only transferring the heat from one point to another, and that is how it is reaching from one end to the another end of the vessel. So that is how the conduction happens. Now, what happens in convection? In convection, you really do not need the substance to be a solid, but you still need some medium, some particles of the medium. And here in convection, there is actually movement of a particle of the actual movement of the particle of a medium. So, actual movement of the movement of that boy. Okay, now in radiation, no medium is required. You do not need anybody. So here, these extra people who are actually helping in the process of transfer, here you do not need any medium. You just throw it and you will reach to the point B. So this is the simple way of understanding the concept of conduction, convection and radiation. So let us now talk about convection. So it is the transfer of heat by actually motion of matter. So as I was telling that what is matter? Matter is nothing but a particle which are present in the medium. You remember the ball is being carried by another person. So this person is nothing but a medium. So particles are the medium are actually moving from one place to another to transfer the ball from A to B. Now, the way we saw the conduction happen in solids. Similarly, convection is possible in fluids. Now why in fluids? Because here we want the medium of a particle to actually move from one point to another. That means that needs space. So if you talk about solid, the particles are very close to each other. They are closely fixed to each other. They do not have an intercellular spaces in between them. But in cases of liquid, considerably there are more open spaces in between the molecules. So therefore the movement becomes easier. Now, how exactly do you think the convection transfers heat? How heat transfer caused by convection? Now, the basic concept behind the working of convection is that when air gets heated, air expands. And when air expands, it becomes less dense. Now, what do we mean by that? Let's say you have this cup of coffee which is placed over fire. Now, the fire is a source of heat. So, this heat, what does it do? It actually heat. In this case, the vessel is getting heated because of conduction. It is a solid substance which is getting heated by conduction. Okay, but when you talk about fluid, coffee inside this vessel, how it getting heated up? It get heated up by the process of convection. Now in this case is a liquid, and here in this case it is the air. If you have a bonfire, the air immediately above this is more hotter when compared to the air which are present inside in the sideways. Why? Because air which is immediately above this get heated up fast. It expands. Now what happens when air expands? Air get heated up and heated air rises up. It expands and rises up. Now why? Why do we talk about density? Why? Because when air expands, it becomes less dense. Let us suppose this is a scenario where there are 10 people, okay, within a room which is this much big. Now, if I say that room size has expanded, I never said that the number of people is increased. I just said that room size has become bigger, but you have still the same number of people. You still have 10 people. So when you have 10 people inside a small room, the density is more or less. It is more dense. It is more congested. When you same 10 people inside a big hall, what happened in this case? It become less dense. Now in a very similar way, when the air get heated up, air get heated, so the air expands, and when it expands, it becomes less dense because it is like the room getting expanded, but still the same number of particles remain within the air. So the air become less dense. Now since the air is less dense, therefore it goes up. The hot air rise up. So when it rises up, a vacuum is created over here. Somebody need to take the space, and who will take that space? Maybe the air from the sideways. So those air particle will take this place, and again that air get heated up, and again they move up. Now once they move up, again the sideways become. That's how gradually the air in the surrounding get heated up. So this is how the concept of convection works. So heated air rises up, cooler air comes down. Either from the sides, they come down, again they get heated, and this process continues. And this is how convection works. This is how the liquid inside the vessel gets heated. So if you would have observed, as soon as keep the water, it doesn't happen immediately that water get heated up, but initially the lower layer get heated up, then they will move up, the cooler layer will go down again. So it is like a cycle, okay? So hot air will go up, cooler air will come down again. That's how after some time the entire water will be hot. So this is how the convection works. Now let's say you take a candle and you put your hand just above the candle. You feel quite hot, okay, right? Why? Because it is because of convection. You see, you are not in directly contact with the flame. Okay, there is no conduction because there is no solid, but there is a medium between the two, that is air. Particles of the air which can actually help in transferring the heat, and that is why you are feeling hot. Okay. And if you place your hand on the other side, on the side of the flame, not on the top but on the side, so will you feel more hot here or less hot? You will feel less hot. Even you do not feel that hot if you feel just on the top of the candle. That because convection happen here, and that is why it is so hot. Okay, but here comparatively cooler air is present. Understood? Now let us look at the example of natural convection, the process of convection which happens in take place in our nature during day and night. So first we will discuss the convection process which happen during daytime. Now during daytime, if you compare the land and the water bodies, it could be oceans or stream, anything. So these kind of scenario can be practically felt in the coastal area, because in the coastal area you actually have the water body as well as the land. So there you can experience this. So during the daytime, due to the presence of sun, it happens that the land heats up more quickly as compared to the water body. So this is land and this is the water body. Okay, so land get heated up more quickly. Now what happens when the land becomes hotter quickly? So the hot air, when it is more hotter, so the hot air is present somewhere here, right? So during daytime, this hot and this is cold quickly. Okay, now what happen is the hot air here that expand, air also near the surface get heated up. So as it get heated up, it expands, it becomes less dense, and then it moves up. Now when the hot air moves up, what happen? A vacuum get created over here. So who fill that vacuum? The vacuum is filled by the cold air which is coming from the sea. So therefore air will be flowing from the cold sea towards the land, and that's how it has been filled up. Matlab this space has been filled up. It is just and the hot air is just going up. So this is coming here, and again it is getting heated and moving up, and again it is moving up. This hot air which is coming here, it is going to come back, and that's how it is like a cycle, and this cycle will continue taking place. But in course of this cycle, what is happening, there is a bunch of cool air which is flowing from water or from the sea towards the land, and this is known as sea breeze. This is called sea breeze. So those living in the coastal area, if they want to experience the sea breeze, they should construct their houses in such a way that the windows and doors are facing the ocean, because during the daytime cool air will be flowing from the side of the ocean toward the side of the land. So this cool sea breeze can be experienced in coastal areas during the daytime. So this is in the concept of sea breeze, you can see the convection play the most important role. Now what happened during the night? Exactly the opposite. At night, the land gets colder quickly than the sea. The way lands get heated up, in the similar way land become cold also quickly. So when it becomes cold quickly, comparatively the ocean is hot, so therefore so hot air, it moving up, vacuum is created over here. This vacuum is filled by the cold air coming from the land, and in this case you see cold air is flowing from the land towards the sea, and this is known as land breeze. So when do you have land breeze? During night time, from land to sea. Now if you look at both the processes, conduction and convection, you see both of them need a medium for heat transfer. You need remember a ball transfer? In both the cases you need somebody to carry the ball, right? In the case of convection, you just need one person who can actually one place to another to carry the ball, and in case of conduction you need a lot of people who just pass on the ball from one to the next. But no, both need a medium for heat transfer. Whether you think of heating a cup of water, or in order to heat this particle of the medium, you need some medium, okay, water, air or anything. So in this example you feel a convection because of air, okay. Otherwise, you would not have felt the heat. Similarly, when you cook food, the vessel get heated up, and it is possible due to the presence of a medium. Now, in many scenarios where medium is not available but still we want heat to get transferred, what will happen? There takes place radiation. Now, do you think that any such scenario ever arises where there is no medium but still we want heat to be transferred? Yes, of course. The most common example would be the sun rays reaching the earth. Now, between the sun and earth, there is a lot of vacuum space. We really don't know where air is present air is present there or not, because not everywhere air is present, okay? It is present in the atmosphere only. So, radiation is that mode of transfer of heat between two bodies which separated by a distance, even in vacuum. Okay. So, another question is, how is it possible that heat is being transferred in vacuum when there is no particle to carry it? So, it is possible in the same way how we throw a ball from A to B. So, A and B didn't have to depend on anybody else to pass the ball. So, in radiation also no medium is required. So, the question is, how exactly this radiation gets transmitted? So, let us look at the most common example of a radiation. So, as I said, the radiation from the sun is able to reach the earth, and the distance between the sun and the earth include a lot of vacuum space as well. So, how does this heat transfer? So, this heat transfer happens in the form of electromagnetic waves, and these are electromagnetic waves which are also called EM waves. Now, what are electromagnetic waves? These are the waves which can propagate in vacuum. So, that is one special feature they have, that this is how it can be represented, and they can be travel through vacuum also. Now, not all the waves can travel through vacuum. Vacuum is what? It is an empty space. It doesn't contain air. And also, these electromagnetic waves travel very fast. So, they travel with the speed of light. Speed of light is 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. So, which is very high speed. And that is the reason the radiation travel very fast. It is also not only the mode of heat transfer in vacuum, but also the fastest mode of heat transfer. Okay. Now, this electromagnetic wave are created by vibration of electric charges. They involve both electric and magnetic component. That is why you see they are marked in blue and red. So, blue and red represent the electric and magnetic component respectively. There are different type of electromagnetic radiation which exist, like visible light, infrared light, X-rays, etc. But you will study about this in your higher classes. Right now, you can learn about this in class 12th, okay, where there is an electromagnetic wave, but for now you just understand the radiation happens in the form of electromagnetic wave. As these waves move from one point to another, the radiation also move there in this form. So, because it travels through in the form of rays, that is why it is able to travel through vacuum and travel with the speed of light, which is very, very high. Now, the heat transfer from the sun to the earth is a classic example of radiation. Now, how radiation causes heat transfer? It transfers through the electromagnetic waves. The name itself tells that it involves both electric and magnetic field. It propagates through vacuum at the speed of light. As I said, because both of these are the property of electromagnetic waves, that they can travel through vacuum, they can travel at the speed of light, that is 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. Now that we are talking about the radiation, now it is not only there is sun to earth is not only the example of radiation. In any object, they tend to emit heat energy, any object by virtue of its temperature. So, any object which is heated has a tendency to emit radiation. So, all hot bodies radiate heat, and this heat which is being radiated by hot bodies is called thermal radiation. Now this can happen in presence of a medium, this can happen in the vacuum, this can happen anywhere. So in one way I'm trying to say that all of us are always radiating heat, because human bodies also have our body also have some heat by virtue of this temperature or heat. We are also radiating some amount of heat. So you would have observed that when you have only one person inside your room, and the same room you have, instead of one person you have 10% inside the same room, you start feeling hotter. Okay, why? Because all those person are radiating some amount of heat. So that room is more heated, and there are more when there are more number of people. So that shows that all human beings also radiate heat, and it is called thermal radiation, because this radiation happens by virtue of heat. So you think of a cup of coffee. If you leave it for some time on a table, what happens? The surrounding of the cup of coffee tends to become hot. Why? Because heat gets radiated from a coffee to the surrounding. Similarly, you think of a candle. So the candle is also radiating heat. So the heat is being radiated to the surrounding. You think of this heater. You think of you are cooking wherever you are cooking. So when you remain inside the kitchen, you tend to feel more hot, because a lot of heat emitted in the kitchen. In fact, all human being also radiates heat energy. So when it fall on some other object, when it falling on any object, it get partially reflected. The second person can partly reflect it, partially absorb, and partially transferred. Some part get reflected. That means heat falls on, when it falls on an object, it get reflected. So it is not actually taken inside by that object. So the second is absorbed. That means it fall on an object and it is taken inside. So basically the heat come inside the object, it become hotter. So the temperature become increase. And the third it can be transmitted. That means the heat is passed through to other object onto some other thing. Okay, so one thing, it get reflected. In that case, the temperature will not increase. If it get absorbed, yes, the temperature will get increased. So now this property is used in a lot of day-to-day applications. So we will look at this. We will go through this about the example of reflected and absorption in the next class. Okay, I hope this much is part is understood by you. Okay, if there is any issue, you can ask me. Okay, thank you, students.